Hi guys, and welcome back to Arsenal Army. So we have just thrashed Chelsea 5-0 at the Emirates, which I believe is a record-breaking win against Chelsea for us. We had a very impressive opening 15 minutes, I will say. And then Chelsea, I believe, grew into the game a little bit. There was a point in time where I thought Chelsea could bring it back after the 1-0 and make it a difficult game for us. But we held on a little bit until the second half, and there was a no contest in that second half. We were unbelievable. Chelsea couldn't get near us. It looked like the only game plan they had was just pump it long to Jackson on the counter, and that weren't working because our centre backs were doing too well with dealing with it. I will say they didn't have Cole Palmer in their team, which is a letdown for them. But even saying that, I don't think that would have made much of a difference at the end of the day. We looked like we were back to our best. So I'm going to be going through our player performances and rating them. Starting at the back with Raya, after the performance he gave us against Wolves, a man of the match performance, he didn't let down today, didn't make any mistakes, kept quite quiet. They didn't have many chances, but everything he needed to do, he did. So a 7. Our two centre backs, I'll say slightly better. Gabriel, he dealt with everything that was coming towards him. Only made one little slip up, but made up for it straight away. He gets an 8. Saliba also done very well. Nothing to complain about him, but he did get spun but once by Jackson, so that's maybe the reason I'm giving him a little bit lower than Gabriel. With our fullback starting with Tomiyasu, I give him a 7. Didn't have the greatest first half. Got beat a couple times by Madueke on the outside, which the positive to look at, he didn't take him on that inside, which is always what you tell your defenders to do. But grew into the game as well. Second half, he was excellent. Didn't let anything really get past him. So he gets a 7. Ben White, excellent performance today. Looked like he was at his best. He gets a 9. Got his 2 goals, his brace. That's his first one of his career, which is always great to see. Not going to give that second goal much credit though, because I do believe it was a cross, but a goal is a goal. So a 9. Now on to the perfect midfield for me. It was a joy to watch at least for one game, which I'm hoping there'll be many more of these three starting together in the midfield. Is what I would say is controlling the game completely. This midfield killed Chelsea's. That £250 million midfield didn't see the light of day against these three. Starting with Reiss, created the first goal, beautiful. Unlucky to not get one himself, but he was excellent today. So an 8. Partey, a man that I've been crying out for to start. I thought he was unlucky not to start the past few games, but he has got his start today and he made the difference. It's like a Rolls Royce in that midfield. Unbelievable. You could see the difference in him and Caicedo. Caicedo being the player that we kind of wanted to replace Partey last summer, and we didn't get him. But you could see the difference in level there. I'm sure Caicedo will turn out to be just as good as players Partey one day, but right now you can see the difference in level. He hasn't started a game in he's only started 2 games in 8 months or something like that. I read only his full start of the season, but he was unreal. Another 8. Ødegaard, one of the man of matches for me. Unbelievable. His passing and his dribbling. Today it was levels above what Chelsea could produce. Got an assist as well. It was perfect from him, so a 9. In the attack, Trossard got our opening goal. Since after his opening goal, he didn't really do too much. I would say he had a good game, but not too involved. So he'll get a 7. Havertz, if it was basing it off the first half, I would have had some complaints about his game. He missed a couple chances, made a couple wrong decisions, but got his 2 goals and also celebrated against Chelsea, which you love to see. Thank you, Chelsea, for that signing. Appreciate it. So he'll get an 8. Another really good performance. Saka also done very well. Had a rough couple of games to me. Looked a bit tired, but this game he looked good. Only bit of complaint about him. A couple wrong decisions. Took too many touches around the box sometimes, but he spun Cucurella inside and out. So I enjoyed his game today. A 7. So onto the subs that had enough time, I would say, to impact the game. With Jorginho, he gets a 6 from me. Help control the game a little bit more. Slowed down the play where he needed to slow it down. So solid from him. Zinchenko came on, didn't get tested too much defensively, which is always a good thing to see. At that point in the game, Chelsea turned to a 5 back in defence. Definitely were sitting back a lot more, hoping that another goal didn't go in. Didn't really help their case, but that's another thing to talk about. But yeah, it didn't do anything wrong, Zinchenko, so that's a 6. Jesus primarily gets a 6 from me because of that no look pass. That was a thing of beauty. Didn't really do much apart from that, but that was nice to see. And lastly, with Martinelli, gets a 5, a bit lower than the rest. More because he did have a couple chances to score. Didn't happen for him. I was praying it did. To get him back on form is very important. He can be one of our best players when he is in that good form. But right now, you can just see it's not clicking for him. And lastly, with Arteta, I think he made the perfect lineup. It's a midfield that a lot of Arsenal fans have been crying to see with Partey, Reiss, and Ødegaard, and it worked perfectly. You could see it had the perfect balance, and it also let Raya go on an attacking surge in the game with that assist as well. You could see where his preferred position is, and it's definitely not in that holding role, which Partey does excellently. So I'm hoping in the next game against Tottenham, we see a performance like this because it's a massive game away from home at Tottenham. It's a massive game, and I'm just hoping that midfield stays the same. I'm hoping Tomiyasu's fit enough to start another game. This lineup will be perfect against them, I think. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.